Hi, I'm Melanie Nelson with Mary Ann's Cupboards, and today we're going to teach you how to make your own custom drawer dividers. Drawer dividers are part of something that we talk about in our clutter-free living class, and they are part of what we call micro-organizing. Macro-organizing is a whole room, where micro-organizing is drawers and cubbies and buckets that are in that room. There are lots of places in your house where you can use drawer dividers, and we'll show you some of those coming up in just a little bit. But first I want to talk to you about drawer dividers in general. There are lots of commercially made drawer dividers on the market. Some are made out of plastic, some are made out of metal, and they're great for organizing things in drawers. Unfortunately, they aren't made for your drawers exactly, so you can lose a lot of storage space by using these options if you're not careful. The other thing about commercial drawer dividers is that they sometimes aren't meant to fit in drawers that are strange sizes. We're going to organize the bathroom drawer here in just a few minutes with you, and we'll show you that that drawer doesn't really work with these kinds of dividers. Making your own custom drawer dividers is beneficial in two ways. One, they're less expensive than their commercially made counterparts, and two, they fit your drawers, so there's never any issues with wasting storage space. We make our drawer dividers out of something called drawer sides. They are located in the molding department of any basic hardware store. They are made out of both oak and birch. The birch is obviously much less expensive, so that's what we prefer to use. Plus, these are going to be semi-permanent, so you're going to be able to take them out if you move and apply them to the new home that you purchase. They come in 8, in 6, in 3, 2, and 1 inch widths. They also come in different lengths, so you can measure the drawer that you're going to be putting the dividers in and decide what's going to be the most cost-effective solution for you. Here's some examples of what our custom drawer dividers look like. There are lots of different uses for them. For example, here we've used them in a silverware drawer where you put the longest items in the back and the shortest items in the front to maximize storage space. And then over here we have our school supplies drawer. This is where we keep our coloring books, our drawing paper, anything that we would need to do homework with after school is in this drawer. This drawer is located in our kitchen, right next to the silverware drawer, but the nice thing about it is it's where everybody can get to it. Okay, so now that you've seen a few of our drawer dividers in action, let's talk about the drawer we're going to organize today. This is a bathroom vanity drawer. Some of them aren't usually this big. They can be real skinny and long. This one is 6 inches deep, so we're going to be using the 6-inch drawer divider material to make the dividers for this drawer. You will need at least 4 feet, a 4-foot long board of this 6-inch drawer side material. You'll also need a hot glue gun. That's what we're going to stick them in the drawer with. I know that seems kind of funny, but these are only semi-permanent, so if you want to nail them into place, you can, but we don't go to that much work because it's just something that we're going to use over and over again anyway. This is a high temperature glue gun, which is important because the glue gets hotter and therefore dries harder than a low temperature glue gun. You'll also notice I've cut the feet off of my glue gun, and that's the part that usually keeps the tip from touching the ground, but you'll find it's very hard to get into tight corners when you have your feet on your glue gun. So just take a pair of wire cutters or a pair of pliers and break those off because you don't need them for this exercise. You'll also need lots of hot glue sticks, probably 4 or 5 at least, to do this one drawer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take everything out of this drawer. There are all kinds of treasures in here. Money from Brazil, this is what, glasses cleaner, shaving cream, toothpaste, flossers, glasses. This is my husband's junk drawer in his bathroom. I love you, honey. And there's a Bryan Adams tape. That's excellent. Watch. Lots of different kinds of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them out of the drawer and we're going to categorize them into like objects because you want to store like things together. Now that we've cleaned out the drawer and we've separated things into categories, you can see that like things are also like sizes, which also saves storage space. Now I want to adjust your attention to what's back here along this part of the counter. This is all stuff that wouldn't necessarily belong in a bathroom drawer, but because when my husband gets home from work and cleans out his pockets, this is where he does it, we need to make room in his drawer for these types of items. We've got change, money, but maybe this money from a different country that we're not going to use here in the States should be kept somewhere where it can be safeguarded and kept for memory. So we'll put that in the office with our scrapbooking stuff. The Bryan Adams tape, the checkbook, and this cute little security band from the hospital the day our son was born should also go in the office and not in a bathroom drawer. There's also a place in our house for medications, but we'll keep this bottle in his drawer because this is the only one that he uses very frequently. So you can see we have things for shaving, we have things for deodorant and cologne, we have some contact solution and glasses, stuff like that, jewelry, dental hygiene, some change, there's some combs back here. So these are all things that we need to plan for when we make our drawer dividers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece, this is actually a scrap piece from a different project of 6-inch deep drawer side board, and we're going to cut it to fit in this drawer. Now what we want to do before we cut our boards is we want to make sure we know where we want this stuff to go. So we're going to start by placing all of these things in their like categories in the drawer where we want them to be. Now because there aren't very many categories that we need in this drawer, we're probably just going to put our horizontal dividers in, and then maybe we'll segment those once we get it done. But we're going to start by putting all of the big things in first, because we work from big to small, heavy to light, and from low to high, if we're in a closet or something. We're going to put all these things in so that they're grouped together in the drawer. And you also want to make sure that you put items in the drawer the most frequently used in the front and the least frequently used in the back. I don't think I've ever seen in 5 years of marriage my husband use this razor. I'm not even sure it works, but I don't want to get rid of it because he may know something I don't know. But we're going to put it in the back because he doesn't use it very often. Where things like dental floss and stuff, he uses a lot. So we're going to make sure that those go maybe up near the front. Maybe right here. Okay? And then maybe a place for jewelry right in here. So you can kind of see where we're going to need our drawer dividers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of board and I'm going to lay it across like this. And because my pencil drawer is so close, I am just going to mark it right here with a little line on that. And you can see this has been used before because it's got hot glue stuck to it. But you'll notice that this line is going to tell me where I need to cut it to glue it into the drawer. Okay? So let's show you how to cut it. So now we're in the garage and we're going to cut this board. Now there's an important note about saws. There are lots of different kinds of saws you can use to cut this material. Because it's only 1/4 inch thick, it doesn't take a lot of effort to cut it. You can use a skill saw, a miter saw like this one, or a box saw. You can also use a saber saw or a handheld saw of any kind, hack saw, anything. Because they aren't hard to cut, you can pretty much use whatever you've got. Don't invest in a special saw just for this. You can borrow one or you can just use one you've got to cut this material because it's pretty soft and it does cut really easily. All I've done is I've lined up this little mark that I made inside with the tip of my blade here. And the line's back here because this particular saw only cuts one direction. So I'm just going to bump this over until I know that it's right in line with that little mark. And then I'm just going to cut it. Okay, so we've cut our piece, and this piece is going to go right here. Now the most important thing to know about the first piece that you cut is it needs to touch 2 sides of the drawer because everything else in the drawer is going to be weighted on that one piece. So it needs to touch both this side and this side. If we were doing a vertical piece that went this way, we would want it to touch both the front and the back of the drawer. So this is the piece that we've cut to go right here. Now we need another one of these to go right here in the drawer as well. So I've already cut that piece and it's right here. So it's going to get glued into place right here. Now we could be done with this drawer if we wanted to be, but I still want to make a little space for the jewelry and the money to go. So I'm going to make a divider piece that goes between these two sections. Now that we have these pieces cut, we're going to glue them into place. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick here. First I'm going to take just our front piece and start with that one. We're going to take our hot glue gun and we're just going to run a bead of glue down the edge of the board. Just like that. And down the other side. Now that's not all the glue we're going to use. We want to make sure that we get it good and tight and wedged in there. That's going to kind of hold it in place while we glue the rest of it. I want to make sure it's straight. And then we're just going to take the tip of our glue gun and run it right up the edges of the board to fill in the gaps on both sides. I gotta move some of this stuff here. And sometimes to really get in those cracks really well, you've got to use more than one ribbon of glue. Okay, so that one is now in place. Now we want to make sure we put this middle one back in while we are measuring where to put the back section so that we know how far apart to put them. So this one isn't going to be quite in the center, it's kind of off to the side a little. There we go. And this one is going to come in right there. So now I'm going to glue those two into place and then we're going to put all of our stuff back in our drawer. Okay, so now that we're finished, you can see that everything now has a place and all the like-sized items are together. We've got the most frequently used in the front, some miscellaneous here on the side, and then we've worked our way back in order of use. I hope that you'll find that this video is helpful in helping you micro-organize your drawers, and if you need any assistance with this or you're having problems, don't hesitate to email us or give us a call. Our phone number is on our contact page on our website. Have a great day.